Hello guys, you are welcome to GH Libya TV. This is information segment on your authentic news station here in Libya. There are so many news, there are so many informations on the grounds of Libya. So if you want to be updated and know exactly what is happening here in Libya, GH Libya TV is the best station to watch. So if you have not subscribed, please do well and subscribe. Now, the story making the headlines. Libya Foreign Minister says Migrants File requires international cooperation. And also, the security forces arrested Kidnapper when he was about to kidnap a foreigner. The UN advisor to Libya visited Moscow on Monday. The Libya National Army deported over 1,000 migrants to Niger. Stay tuned and enjoy the news.
This is GH Libya TV. This TV is fantastic. Watch the program clearly and subscribe. All what we need from you is just click the button and subscribe. Whatever we do, you receive it. This TV station is perfect. We love you.
Welcome back. Now the news in detail. On Saturday, the Libyan Minister of Foreign Affairs, Niger, paid an inspection visit to the Migrant Shelter Center in Anzara area of the capital Tripoli. During the visit, Mangush listened to the demands of the migrants and their needs in terms of healthcare and living. She confirmed that the Government of National Unity pays special attention to this file in a manner that guarantees respect for human rights and the preservation of the dignity of all migrants. The minister said that the illegal migration file drains Libya's great security and economic resource. She added that this file needs serious international cooperation by humanitarian organizations and neighboring countries to curb this phenomenon and protect the human and health rights of migrants. He also discussed the most important challenges with Mohammed Salim Kuja, head of the Anti-Illegal Migrant Authority. These challenges include the program and the mechanisms taken to mitigate the flow of migrants, the way of caring for those in shelters and taking into account their humanitarian conditions, whilst ensuring respect for international human rights and humanitarian laws as well as refugee laws. Earlier this month, Libya security forces raided and voluntarily broke up a site by migrants outside a shelter, United Nations Community Center in Tripoli. The migrants, including women and children, had camped outside the UN center in Tripoli since October. They sought protection following the mass crackdown on migrants and demanded better treatment at the hands of the Libyan authorities. Commenting on the recent crackdown, the Norwegian Refugee Council and the International Rescue Committee issued a joint statement. We are alarmed by the detention of 600 migrants, refugees and asylum seekers, including women and children, that were camped out in front of the former Community Day Center in Tripoli. Witnesses have told us they were met with violence this morning and that makeshift tent were burnt down. This is the culmination of the disastrous situation that has deteriorated over the last few months. Since the mass detention of thousands of migrants, refugees and asylum seekers in October of last year, the situation for this population in Libya has only got worse. Now, Libya National Army deported over 1,000 migrants to Niger. Major General Khalid Majob, Director of Moral Affairs in the Libya National Army, said more than 1,000 migrants were deported from Libya to Niger. In a press briefing, Majop noted that work is being done to end the phenomenon of illegal migration in the North African country. He pointed out to the qualitative operations of the armed forces in the southern region of the country aimed to combat illegal migration and smuggling. Last week, LNA forces started a wide and comprehensive military operation in the southern region to impose security, said Commander of Southern Operations and Commander of the Southern Military Region, Major General Mabruk Saban. He added that the first phase of the military operation targeted all violations in terms of random construction, drug trafficking, smuggling, illegal migration, and the spread of armed groups. The second phase targeted illegal fuel stations, which distribute smuggled fuel at high prices. The phase will not start until after fuel is available at all stations licensed by the Libyan state. Distributing fuel to the Saba oil depot is unfair due to the lack of adequate control over the distribution stations, in addition to the existence of a major manipulation involved the distribution stations and several parties, Saban said, stressing that there are efforts by the LNA aimed at delivering fuel to all Libyans. In an interview with N News, he added that LNA forces are showing great interest in the Music Basin area, where several meetings have been held for a comprehensive settlement between the parties of the city. Notably, the LNA announced the desire to close the common southern borders with Chad and Sudan until further notice, according to Subol Salam Brigade of the General Command of LNA. The Subol Salam Brigade also called on vehicle and truck drivers to abide by this decision to preserve their safety at the present times.
Libya TV.
Now, the House of Representatives spokesman says roadmap committee to finish tax at end of January. The spokesman for the Libyan House of Representatives, Abdel Barik, said the House of Representatives session Tuesday resulted in constructing the roadmap committee to continue work with all parties to reach a real date for elections as soon as possible. Blake said on his Facebook page that the House of Representatives session decided that the task of the roadmap committee end by the end of this January, while the Speaker, Aquila Sali, said the section was assigned to hearing the work done by the committee. Sali said the House of Representatives will be convening every Monday and Tuesday, and all members are required to attend, saying those who don't attend will be facing legal measures, including being rendered as obstructionists, getting their salaries deducted, their votes unaccounted, and eventually their membership suspended. Meanwhile, the members of the House of Representatives and the head of the Roadmap Committee, Nasser Dien Mehana, said in his briefing of the committee work at the House of Representatives that the committee worked on 4 tracks: constitutional, executive, national reconciliation, and security, saying he is optimistic that a solution to the crisis in Libya will be reached. Now, the United Nations advisor to Libya, Stephanie Williams, visited Moscow on Monday. On her Twitter page, she tweeted and said, I had the pleasure of meeting His Excellency Sergei Vershini, Deputy Foreign Minister of Russia. It was an opportunity to review the situation in Libya and for in-depth consultations on the challenges facing the electoral process. We emphasized the critical role of the international community and the Berlin process to help Libya realize their aspiration towards peace and prosperity through an inclusive Libya-led and Libya-owned process, and the importance of maintaining stability across Libya. That was the things they discussed during their meeting from Stephanie Williams' page on Twitter. And also from Sabratha City, the security forces arrested Kidnapper when he was about to kidnap a foreigner by putting him in a box of his car for extortion and ransom. The kidnapper was sent to jail whilst the foreigner was released. So these are the stories and the informations that we have for you today. Keep on watching GH Libya TV. Don't forget to subscribe and share it to your friends and loved ones. All your comments are welcome.
It's GH Libya TV. This TV is fantastic. Watch the program clearly and subscribe. All what we need from you is just click the button and subscribe. Whatever we do, you receive it. This TV station is perfect. We love you.
Ausia abemu wakwaba abaji Libya TV so senene dikan wohwe dwumade abra wo meka abusuakuo no ho na waklake subscribe button no sebeye na wonso obetumi abeka abusuakuo yi ho na otwi nsema yensa kan bobo no so GH Libya TV kase yede mbremu brano na otwi mu so de yensa kan na yede ebremu na nsema yede bremu no de dikan no chiremu a eye maame a ohwe eye amanone nsam so ewo oman mu edi nani ekire anzara ne na mpatamu eko eye migration center anase detention centers ahodo bia na ewo ho ene nipa wache won aguho no so ekotwetwen enkomo ene wo edi kasubom ewo ho na wo maame ensam kaye mu no ode to dwase saa dwumadi ade ebe hia se aban a ewo so sesia government of national unity no empanimfo ebe mo wonani akosa dwumadi ho pa ne titiro ewo nipa ebuo na afei enipa bambo enipa fa ahodie ho edwumadie nyina no obema woni akoho frise nkoma woni amanfo kwotwetwen ye no bi ekiremu a apomudin anase wana yare hwe eni dwumadie a ekoso ewo sa empatamu no aban ebetumi amanani akoho pa na wo mame nkasa ye mu no osi ensem bi sudua ekiremu a sa dwumadie eye dwumadie Libya ban kwa entumi enye yade obehia eye ankura ku akese anase international organizations ahodo ene amanya ahodo a woben oman Libya na se woni wonbo hye nyina no beka wo nyina ho abom se beye na se adwumade wo betumi adi ma ayeson no nko na se ye ka illegal migration anase nipa wo fa nkoti kwan so eba oman mu a mame chiremu a eye hawo kese ba ko pa esana edi oman enya ewo ndwumadie mu ne wo mbiribia ne wonade ye mu eno nti mame eda disrade kese atodwa se aban no eni mpanimfo titiri aso ya hodo a wona wohwe sa dwumadie nyina so no enka wo homom se wode asundwie wode perpereye wode nokwaredie obuo ene fama nso edebema nipa wo saa tibia mu titiro nipa wodo wangu detention centers ahodo nyina no nso wobehwe na wabo ho ba na ade a eye asudie kese edema oman ya ma mechiremu a ade a eha oman ene wodwumadie nyina eno nti aman ahodo a wono wo mbohye ene aman ahodo a ene international bodies nyina enka wo homom na saa kon we de ene adesoa we de enya ade a oman ebetumi asoa eno nti amaya hodo eni nipadom nyina no wonka wo homom na afisa adwumadi no entumi enkoso na emoa oman na eno akiri no ensama hodo bi a wote enso bi efa eye UN efutufo a wayi no se one oman Libya emetena na wotutu wonfo na fe wonu wonkambom enhwe won abato so ensam so mekira Mame Stephanie Williams enso edinani ekire Moscow mekira Russia emanmu ene empadimfo ekodi kasubom ewo ho na okiremu a nkomotwetwe a wokotwetwe yen titire nyina no efa oman Libya abato ne mpuntu ne nkanko eho na wokiremu a na nigye se one opanina badi akira ohwe amanone nsam so ewo man no mu enya nkutahudie na won kutahudie ne nsam ahodo a efiri mu bae nyina no ade a ebetumi aboa na afei wahwe ama Libya so afa ne ntema pa afira ewo mpuntu a wope ede ama oman no eno akiri no opanin bia wachirimu asabrata ne mpatamu ho no de ne dwumadi a odi ya ne se wache amanfo ade wonkosi twesika to won so sebeye na obenye sika na mmom we de fofie anto atame no kasai no na watwe mu ano empanimfo ensa aka no a migrant anasa hoho a oche no na ode no akosie baabi anasa ode na hye ne ka mu baabi a nanka okoton no anasa ode ne kogi sika ewo baabi no ni tiri anye ye apolisifo asonu mu a me no kase no wode na akogina emra no a wode na akoto afiase ama hoho no nso afa ni tiri adidi emu ebi eno akiri no ensama abetodwa foforo a na otwe mu nso yensa kan ya ye dane akiri ade ama yenatifo ne ya hwefo no akiri mu a saba ne mpatamu akiri mu a na otwe mu no wodi enipa emako apem ena wapia wonachi efiri oman Libya mu ede wafa ekwan so yo ede wonyina akogu Niger de wachire mu se safo no wa deport won afiri oman mu na wachire mu a de ama wodi sa adwumadie nyina enakakra atwamu no mekira asrafo dom a wohwe sabane ne mpatamu ayekanse the Libya National Army no ede adwumadie bi eto ho na de wohwe anase adwumadie na wodi no wose de na edikan no first phase no na wohwe wona wofa nkoti kwan so eba oman mu afi wona woto no nnubone afi asra domku ahodo amanfo nam suma se atete ewo oman mu a wodidi oman enya no saa anamontu na edin kan de etoso mienu nso na ohwe wona wodi akondie ne saa niema nso bi ebewura oman nso na de etoso miensa so efa fa nwo mekira fuel ana petrol eho ensem wona wo ton fuel wa abra wonni kwan se wo ma won akwanya eton ewo oman emu na saa dwumadi a wodi si wenani so eno ena aka ho bi ama na wotwi awieye no wasesa enipa emako apem na wodi wo free oman Libya mo wodi porto won nyina akọ Niger eman no emu na wachire mu a wokoso adi dwumadi ya kopem se wona wonam suma se etonu nubone wona woto wona woton wona wodi ho dwa wona wodi sa dwumadi na si wenani so nyina de obetu woni nyina ase eno akiri no wona wonam suma ase edo ho ehyehyehye asra donku ahodo mu akira armed groups ahodo a wo man mu a wo moa ema oman so entumi emfa ne ntema mpa emfra no obetu saafo nyina so ase afei nso wona wodi akonde ahudwa ene niema emfa emrekwan mu ewo oman mu nso no watu wonan asifom se obetu saafo no sa kopem se sa adwumadi ne nyina eto betwa wei aka ho bi ama mpanimfo ede kokobonsam kese ede amatimanmufo ene ahoho a wowo saba ene ne mpatamu ho nyina kyire mu a sa adwumadi we a wode asi wani so no enye hoho enye kuruba enti wode futuo kese akwama tituru kuruma no nso wona wofa nkoti kwan so etono petrol ana fuel a oman no emma wo ho kwan na afei wodi sa adwumadi ne nyina nso no wonyai na sa adwumadi eka wodwumadi a wodi nyina ho efiri se wokyire mu a wama petrol bo ayeden ewo empatamu ho a eni se enka eba no saa na ansana wobema kwan ama oman ba bi aton petrol ewo saba ne empatamu wa bra woni ho kwan no bra wahu se baabi esese patru no bia no ebi afiri depo akwaduru sa mpatam ho ansa na watumi ama ho kwan se ebia obimpo emfa bi nkosi mantwe baabi anase baabi se oton bi se anye sapa na wo so mu pa de a ewode emra no ebedi sade a ese na efata afei wona watwe mu no emrahye badwafuo anasa ekase the House of Representatives ekase the Parliament no eko asetena na wotu ndwumadi ehye nora benadai na wachirimu a ebra so se emrahye badwafuo nyina bejai wondwumadi wodi nyina no wama wo attention anasa wadwene aba wona bato nhyehyeye a wode agukwan so se esese kianake afei woto aba no na wei aka ho bi ama the Speaker of Parliament no nhyehyeye bi atodwa achirimu a the roadmap committee a wasete say wonhwe abato no ho nhyehyeye emfiri saabere ya nkopem say wodi da poten anase date poten wodi beto aba no ba beto dwa no parliament no so ententena dwada ene benada bia no wobekọ akotena se ahwe sesa adwumadi ebekọ so we aka ho bi ama the Speaker of Parliament no enso edi kokobo nsembi ne nsembi atodwa se saa na we ya wodi asi ho no obi oye mrahye badwani na wama mrahye badwafie anase wama bia no ama adwumadi no antumi ankoso no wobekasa saafo no omo ena omo ye asi akwan a wompese oman ebetumi akoso na se obi bo no homusuo pa saade no bia enhyehyeye a Speaker no ede atodwa achiremu a saa nipa no edi nkan no wobetwe no asensense onye mrahye badwani afei nso bosumi akatua anase enadodo bia wama mrahye badwamu kopem se dwumadi a wodi asi wani so no ebetwemu no ne bosumi akatua bia no wobete ni sika bi afirimu afei dwumadi a wokodi no titiro no bi efa constitution ene consensus ahodo a esese omohwe afei bambo ho nsem efa security ene niema hodo bibiri na egu wonanima wokodi ho dwuma eni nti obi biara musu bebo na wantumi ama mrahye badwafie amwa ama sa dwumadi na ankoso no wobekase womo saafo no ena esi akwan ewo nhyehyeye a ene anamontu pa oman no pese otu na woboa ema abato no etumi ekoso no eno nti panimpai atonanumutu ede kokobo nsem we atodwa se obia nhwe se ena wodi asi ho se wodi di dwuma no tituru dwada ene benada bia na wotwe mu no mrahye badwani bia obetum na wama mrahye badwafie na obekọ baabi abra ense na emfata anase enye yare a obetena fie ana obekọ kodi ne dwuma baabi die saa enipa no wode emra ebedi ne pepepa ne dwuma die a wodi no wobeji afiri ne nsam afei bosomi bia no sika sese wode ma no obesan ate se sika no bi afiri ne mu a wobetwe ne dwuma die asensen se mpo yesese wa mani nyina na otomu a bere no duru se wo to aba na bato nso enya ade a wobekan ede aka abato a wo to any decision bi a mo take wo mrahye badwafie ho we ni kokobo nsema the Speaker of Parliament no so ede atodwa ede ama mrahye badwafo no adofo no abusuafo we ni na watwemi nsema yensa kan bobo no so Libya TV kasa ede ebesomwo wonsa kan na de ama onu asa beye na ono so ebetibi no so obehunu na afi wabeka abusuakuo no ho awurade enhyira no. God bless you.